In the UFC, just like any other sports organization, the best person or the best team doesn't always win. So today, we're going to be looking at the best non-championship UFC fighters in each division. Starting at flyweight, we got Brandon Moreno. Are we really going to forget that people were calling Pantoja's win over Moreno a robbery? That fight was insanely close. Moreno obviously lost to Royval in his following fight, which I think that was just a bad night for him. But with that being said, who else is better than him in the flyweight division? Are you going to say Kai Kara France? He already beat him. TKO, body kick, just beat Amir Albazi. He beats Royval 8 out of 10 times. Let's just call it what it is. That was a bad night for him. I think he just had a poor mentality coming off a loss, and he just needed to bounce back. But now that he's coming off a win, I think he's easily the number one flyweight other than Pantoja, and even that's close. Those two are neck and neck, and if they fight again, it's going to be hard to pick one. At this point, I do believe since their last fight, Pantoja has improved more than Moreno has, but you can still never count out Moreno like you can the rest of the flyweight contenders. Moreno is always going to have a chance no matter who he faces. He went 2-1-1 with Figueiredo, probably the third greatest flyweight of all time. I think he's always going to be a threat to whoever the flyweight champion is at the time until the day he retires. Next, bantamweight's got to be Umar. Umar arguably won the fight versus Merab. He won round one, round two, and are we going to act like the fifth round wasn't razor close? Or the third round? Let's look at the fifth round. What did Merab do more than Umar? Spamming takedowns does not count as anything on the judges' scoring. Doesn't count as damage. Merab was spamming takedowns and taunting Umar. So he may have looked like the winner, but who's really doing more damage in the fifth round? If you really look at it, Umar was landing the better shots in the fifth round. I was watching the fight live. I literally thought to myself, I was like, Merab's got to start throwing some punches or do something because he's getting outdone. He was getting outdone in the fifth round, and I wanted Merab to win. I didn't want Umar to win. I wanted Merab to humble him, but are we really gonna act like that fight wasn't razor close and like Merab's taunting gave him the win? I mean, that's not how the sport works. You need to do damage to get the win. Umar did much more damage than him. And then let's look at Umar versus the rest of the division. Piotr Jan, Umar beats him. They're both very evenly matched on the feet, but Umar just has a more superior wrestling game and pedigree. Corey Sandhagen already beat him. O'Malley, he's literally a worse matchup for O'Malley than Dvalishvili is. He's Merab pretty much with better striking. Just flat out, Umar is the best non-champion in the bantamweight division. Arguably, he's the best fighter in the bantamweight division. I think if he fights Merab again, he'll get it done. I'd say 6 times out of 10 he beats Merab. Did Merab even beat him at their last fight? I don't know. I thought it was very close, and to be honest, when it came to the judges' scorecards, I didn't really know who was gonna win. So bantamweight's got to be Umar. For featherweight, it's got to be Volk. First of all, Max isn't in featherweight anymore, so you can cross him out. And then who else do we have? Diego Lopez. Volk would run through Diego Lopez. Diego Lopez doesn't have anything for Volk. He's not going to outgrapple Volk because that would imply that he has better grappling than Makachev. And he's not going to outstrike Volk because that would imply he has better striking than Holloway. The only way he beats Volk is by catching him with a lucky punch or a submission. Skill for skill, Volk schools him. Who else? Mavzar Evloev. Mavzar just let's just call it what it is. Aljamain won that fight. Are we really gonna act like Mavzar won that fight? It was 1-1 going into the third, and Aljo had more control time in the third round and landed just as many punches. I thought he won that. Either way, he's not gonna out grapple Volk. Again, that would imply he has a better grappling pedigree than Makachev, which just simply isn't the case. Lord knows he ain't gonna outstrike Volk. So who else is better than Volk other than Topuria in this division? The answer is no one. Even Topuria, Volk arguably won the first round. He might have officially even won it. I didn't look at the scorecards, but featherweight's obviously Volk, and if you think differently, you're just wrong. For lightweight, it's Charles Oliveira. Yeah, he dropped a close fight to Armin, which I do think Armin won, but let's not act like Oliveira wasn't closer to finishing the fight on more occasions than Armin was. He had Armin in a deep guillotine first round. Only reason he got out is because of shorts, and then he had him in a deep Darce choke in the third round, which credit to Armin, he had amazing defense. But everyone knows if that fight was 5 rounds, Oliveira is going to win. And are we not going to look at what Oliveira just did to Chandler? He out wrestled Chandler, who has amazing wrestling. Easily took him down whenever he pleased. Now, I don't think he'll beat Makachev anytime soon because these Dagestani guys, they don't get caught in submissions from guys off their back. Oliveira is not going to throw a Hail Mary submission and get Islam. Islam's too skilled for that. But out of everyone in the division, he has the best chance, unless Ilya moves up. But Oliveira has amazing striking. He has some of the best grappling in UFC history. Submission grappling, that is. Who else is better than him? I already talked about Arman. If that was a 5-round fight, he would have won. Like, who else? Gaethje? Oliveira already beat him. Already beat Poirier. I think Oliveira beats everyone in the lightweight division in a 5-round fight, other than Islam. I'm not saying he should get the next shot necessarily, but he's 100% the best non-champion fighter at lightweight. For welterweight, it's Leon Edwards. Now, if this was 2 years ago, if this was even before the Usman-Leon 3 fight, I would have said Usman. But I think now he's just too washed at this point. He hasn't fought for over a year, so it's got to be Leon. Leon's grappling is elite. Why are people forgetting that he was able to take down Bilal? Not to mention, when he lets his hands go, his striking's actually good. He's fighting JDM March 22nd on the London card. Why is everyone forgetting that JDM was losing the fight to Gilbert Burns? And that he literally landed a Hail Mary to finish Gilbert. Why is everyone forgetting this? I think Sean Brady's a better contender than JDM. And honestly, he's close behind Leon. Sean Brady's a huge problem. But obviously, Bilal already TKO'd him, which getting TKO'd by Bilal is crazy. Like I said, Leon has amazing striking. His grappling has massively improved. Who else would you say? Shavkat? Shavkat is so overrated. His actual takedown ability sucks. He's way overrated as far as entertainment goes. Ian Gary took his back. And let's not act like Jeff Neal wasn't tagging him up on the feet. Like, Shavkat, I've been saying this before Shavkat had that fight with Ian Gary. I always thought he was way overrated, especially after watching the Stephen Thompson fight when he could barely take Stephen Thompson down. He struggled so hard to take Stephen Thompson down. Bilal took Stephen Thompson down like butter. Same with Burns. But I still think the biggest threat to Bilal is Leon. Just because I say Leon's probably the best contender besides the champion doesn't mean I think he's the best matchup to beat Bilal. I'd say the fighter with the highest chance to beat Bilal is probably Buckley, just because he has good defensive wrestling, offensive wrestling, and a ton of power in his hands. But Colby was taking down Buckley, and Colby was gaining traction in that fight. So either Buckley or Brady, I'd say, were the hardest matchups for Muhammad. Overall, as far as fighters go, I think Leon beats more people than anyone else in the division other than Bilal. So I gotta go with Leon on this. For middleweight, it's easily Sean Strickland. I don't even want to hear anything about Hamzat. Holy. People are so blinded and all the hype. I'm just going to tell you how it is real quick. He dropped the round to Gilbert. The third round was extremely close. He lost 2 rounds. I believe it was 2 rounds. I think that fight should have been a draw. But he lost 2 rounds to Usman, coming off the couch, fighting up a division, plus he was washed when they fought. And he lost 2 rounds to that Usman, that version of Usman. If it was a 5-round fight, everyone knows Usman would have won. Not to mention, Strickland beat Duplessis the first time. Like, we can't just let that slide and let people forget that that fight was a robbery. Like, Strickland, I believe, should have won that fight. I think Dricus is more well-rounded, but Strickland won that fight. I really do believe that. And then he just easily dismantled Paulo Costa in a 5-round fight. He has a much better chance to beat Dricus than Hamzat does. Let me go back to Hamzat real quick. He lost all his hype after the Usman fight, but he got right back on his hype train after he beat Whitaker in round 1. Why are we acting like that submission wasn't a fluke win? It was literally a fluke injury to Robert Whitaker. Why are we giving it so much credit? The choke wasn't even in. Like, his jaw was already compromised. Rob himself said that. And if it was any other fighter he had that choke on, they wouldn't have tapped. He didn't have the choke in. Whitaker was doing great defending all of Hamzat's submission attempts up until that point. Also, why are we going to forget the fact that Hamzat had a harder time submitting Kevin Holland than Rainer de Ritter did? Are we forgetting that too? Kevin Holland was scrambling way more with Hamzat. Rainer literally took him down and submitted him. No problem. So I think Hamzat's way overrated. I think Duplessis would beat him and Strickland would beat him. I'm going to laugh so hard when he gets the next title shot. It just gets absolutely fraud checked. And I love Hamzat. He's very entertaining in the first round. But his cardio is just not there. And he's not going to outstrike Duplessis or Strickland. Again, there's always a puncher's chance, but technically, absolutely not. For light heavyweight, it's Yuri. Are we really going to act like Magomed Ankalaev is better than Yuri? As far as matchups go, skills make fights. Magomed may have a better chance of beating Alex than Yuri. But overall, Yuri's a much better fighter. He has more knockout power. He's faster, better striking. His grappling's pretty good. He would not get taken down easily by Magomed Ankalaev. Like, he submitted Glover Teixeira, an amazing grappler. Yuri is 100% the best non-champ. Some guys are coming up like Alberg. He could be a potential new contender. And then you always got to remember Jan. Jan had that crazy close fight with Alex, which I'm not going to lie, at the time I thought Jan won. It's easily Yuri, just how good his striking is. And he got even better, as we saw in the Hill fight. He was actually moving his head, had decent defense. So at this point, I think he's easily the best contender at light heavyweight. For heavyweight, again, this one was easy. I'm sure the casuals aren't going to get this one, but it's Jalen Almeida. Are we going to forget that he took Curtis Blades down like 20 times in the span of the first round? And that the only reason Curtis won was because of a fluky TKO. Almeida was literally dog walking, ragdolling him the whole fight up until he got his takedown stuff and Curtis got the TKO, whatever. It's heavyweight, so that kind of stuff is more likely to happen. But skill for skill, Almeida is the best non-championship fighter at heavyweight. He'd take down Gon, control him, probably submit him, and probably TKO Volkov. By the way, he has insane power. He hurt Spivak when he got on the feet with Spivak. First of all, can we talk about the reversal? Yeah, he got the butterflies and reverse Spivak. Got on top. Spivak got up. He rocked Spivak and then TKO'd him. Like I said, he has crazy power on the feet. The only stain on his resume is that loss to Curtis Blades, who, yeah, he's an elite fighter, but Almeida wins that fight 9 times out of 10 against Curtis Blades. Curtis Blades is so overhyped in general. Like, why were people actually giving him a chance against Aspinall? Did people really think Curtis Blades had even a 1% chance of beating Aspinall? Like, why were people genuinely getting behind him? Curtis Blades has a chin made of paper mache. His wrestling is like, it's not even that good. So, yeah, he got a fluky win over Almeida. Almeida would beat him 9 times out of 10. He beat the rest of the division. Well, outside of the Aspinall-Jones fight, he's the hardest matchup for each of them. So, for heavyweight, the best contender, best non-champ is easily Jalen Almeida. Those are all the divisions. If you agree or disagree with me, let me know in the comments. I'll be sure to reply. And make sure you like and subscribe if you liked it. And I'll have another video here 2-3 days, but I'll catch you.